Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of The Pursuit of Profit, and I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your hostess, Leanne Ozaine-Smith. Hello, Leanne.
Hi, Chris. Woohoo! Let's do this.
Hey, let's do this. Well, first of all, let me say this. I didn't bring my wine glass tonight, but you have yours. So those of you watching, like, cheers. Here's to Wine 30.
Exactly.
That's right. We're making wine part of the brand.
We are. We've talked about this since day one, and I just haven't done it, but now I am.
It's part of the tribe. If you drink wine, you are part of the tribe.
That's right.
Good. Okay. Well, I want to say this too before we dive in, because we're going to recreate an amazing conversation we just had. But I want to say, off the heels of the last episode, where
I threw myself under the bus.
you exposed it all. You got some great feedback from people. Like, what I love about this is, so those of you listening who are in business, this is true for any of you. Like, when you get super honest and super transparent, others start to connect with what you have to say. Like, all of a sudden you become approachable. Yep. And as much of a ninja as you are, Leanne, with money and profit coaching and all that stuff, which in my mind puts you on a pedestal, you are the most down-to-earth person. And I think that's actually a good segue in today's topic, because the question I wanted to ask you is like, well, let me say this. I think what makes what you do so successful with entrepreneurs, when entrepreneurs have tried everything else and it didn't work, and then they work with you and it does work, is because you're so approachable and you get in the trenches with them and you hold their hand and you pull them, you go out of it together. Mm-hmm. Whereas everybody else is sitting there reading the book, hiring the coach, doing stuff, and then they're tasked with going back into their business to try to fix it themselves. What you do is you actually get in with them. And I think that's what creates the movement. But until you're transparent, it's very hard for people to feel like they want to invite you into that mess.
It's totally true. I've had, I'm going to go with as many as 4 conversations with complete strangers this week that watched the last episode or listened to it. Yep. And in every one of those conversations, they said stuff to me like, I was never going to call you. Right. I was never going to do this because I was never going to. But when I heard you say that you made $1 million and you wasted $1 million, like, I guess I can show you that I have this. Right. It's incredibly humiliating and humbling that outing myself, so to speak, which, you know what, is a hard thing to do. When you are a person with financial credentials behind your name, it is not cool.
And it's not conventional. No, it's not conventional. Which, by the way, side note, is I think that's why it's so attractive right now, because when people show their true colors, I'm a human, you're a human, all of a sudden and the rest of your industry doesn't do that. You're the only safe person in all my choices. I choose you because you're the safest person.
I hope so.
Well, I think that's how that is.
At least it's real, right? Like,
I just think that's human nature, but
it is. And I think I had to reach a place myself where I decided that it was more important to me to do the work that's set in front of me to do. And when I watch business owners transform, like go from I'm depressed, I hate my business, I'm not making any money, to I am thriving. And all that happened is that in 3 months of coaching, right? Like, I'll work with a company for 3 months and I kick them out. Like, it's not forever. It's for a period of time. And it's amazing how a 3-month window of hard work on just your finances changes everything. And I'm just, at some point, I just had to get honest with myself and say, the work that I meant to do in the world is worth being embarrassed and saying to other human beings, look, when I tell you I understand, I actually understand. Yeah. When I know what it feels like to put payroll on a line of credit. Done it. I know what it feels like to go another year and not fund a retirement account. Done that too, right? Like, I get it. It hurts. And especially, it's interesting, the bulk of business owners are still men. And it is super interesting to me that this process of talking about money and what we expect and what we want out of our business with men especially, it is an incredibly emotionally charged conversation. And they don't get to have that conversation with their spouse because it's going to freak their spouse out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of safe places, like we were talking about yesterday. There's not a lot of safe places to be a business owner and have struggle of any kind.
Right.
You just have to posture forever. So anyway,
yeah.
I forget the question, except I do want to say, like, it's about creating safety, and it's about creating a space where we can be honest. And that required me telling everybody how I made $1 million and lost $1 million.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's what's so beautiful is that, and then some results showed up because people were like, okay, I could have that conversation with you now. And until that happened, they may have liked what you said, but they didn't know they could invite you in.
No.
See, this is okay. So listen, that's it. Like, this is why I love our conversations, because the thing kind of pop. What happens is we'll listen to speakers, we'll buy books of authors, we'll like what they have to say about things, but we're not willing to invite them in. And so when it comes time for actually create change, we just don't change. We just go buy another book, right? We don't actually do the work. We just go buy another book.
Yep. Oh, we've all done that.
Yeah. You've got a guest in your over your shoulder.
I do?
Yeah. I can see.
Hi, here's my daughter.
Your kids are home.
My daughter's home. Hi, honey. Come over here really quick.
Now all of you
let's be real.
In Profit Nation can
Profit Nation. This is Elise Noel. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Elise.
Say hi,
hey.
So Mama's working right now. So can I have you go back upstairs?
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi, honey.
Oh, isn't that the best? I love it.
Yes, that's the best.
That is real life right there.
That is real life. Wow.
That's so good.
Talk about vulnerability and kittens.
I know, right? And cats. Vulnerability, wine, cats, kids.
Cats and wine.
This is how it goes down, people. This is how it goes down. Do you want to grab your door? I can
no.
Your French door's open. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love it. Well, so here's what I think where I wanted to take that was we're interested in the knowledge and the information. We're interested in getting over the sticking points of our finances. So we buy books, we listen to podcasts, we go to conferences, but to actually create the change, I think it requires something more. I think you listening to this would know that, because you and I both have all bought the books and we still don't have the change that we really wanted. Yeah. And so my question to Leanne before we hit record that we're recreating here was, I said, what is the most common sticking point that people have? Like, where do people feel, what was the word I used, Leanne? You said, I don't think it's.
You asked me where they feel confused.
Confused. Yeah. So where do people feel confused? And you said, I don't think it's confused. And then you said, I think what I get when I meet with people is.
I get intimidation.
Intimidation. And then I didn't know what you meant by that. So I said, well, what do you mean when you're meeting with people? What do you mean intimidation? So
let's talk.
Let's recreate it.
So what's really normal for business owners is they are stuck in the financial fog. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's, see-through fog, but a lot of times they can't see 2 feet in front of themselves or be on the next payroll cycle.
Right. And they can see through, there's no fog in the world of marketing or in the world of product creation, or there's a lot of things that give them the false sense that there is no fog because they can see clearly in other parts of business.
Yep.
And they turn a blind eye to the money. But if they ever look at the money for a minute, then everything starts to get super cloudy.
That is so true, Chris. Thank you for adding that. That's great. So they're stuck in the financial fog, and it's usually really thick, and they can't see 2 feet in front of them. And so usually I find that people have done, which we've talked about on this podcast, they've called their CPA, but they didn't get any answers, right? Mm-hmm. Or they've talked to a CFP and they're all they want to do is talk about investments. So like the financial people that you're supposed to get advice from, you can't. And people tell me all the time, like, I wouldn't know what to Google to find somebody like you. Like, what would I even Google? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so now we have a dog. Oh my goodness.
Hi, Ruby.
And a child. Okay.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. It's perfect.
Okay, honey, will you please make sure nobody comes back in here? Thank you.
Close the door, Elise. Close the door.
Close the door, Elise.
It's awesome.
Wow.
I love it.
This is real life.
This is life, people. This is life.
Real life.
I think it makes it more endearing, though.
Okay,
I feel like this is what it's like to be at Leanne's house.
It is. I'm blushing. So they're so stuck in the financial fog that they can't get help, right? And they don't know what to Google, and so they just stay in the financial fog. And so when I get into the fog with them and grab them by the hand and start pulling them out, conversation by conversation, the feelings that I'm getting from them are intimidation.
Yep.
Like they're intimidated. I think they're really afraid that I'm going to like expose something they don't know about their business. I think they're afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're afraid to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're really intimidated by the idea that they get, they might say have to, they get to spend an hour a week with me for 3 months, right? Like this is like, and I'm not, I'm not sweet. I'm intimidating. I know that, but people get results. And the reason they get results is that I grab them by the hand and I pull them out of the fog, whether they want to go or not.
Right. Yeah.
Poor dears. So it's not confusion. It's fear.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time spent building trust and getting to a place. Like I had a business owner today that said to me, when I met you 3 months ago, I wasn't sure I was going to come back. Like he told me, I spent the first month leaving the appointment thinking I'm not going to the next one. I'm not going to the next one.
Wow.
But he said to me today, he's like, I got to find a way to keep you on my team like indefinitely. Like we're there, right?
Yeah.
But 3 months ago, he didn't feel that way. But we got through the slog. We got him out of the fog. He did the work. I just didn't let go till he got out. So that's, I think that was what I was kind of looking for, because I feel like that is what makes the difference. The difference is you can go read another book, you can go listen to another podcast, but if you're really ready for change, you really want somebody who, I mean, as much as you make yourself sound like a grizzly bear, like I think they say they have to, like you have this amazing balance between you ask really tough questions and you don't walk around them. Like you just head first into the issue, but you do it in such a gracious way where I don't feel bad for whatever my answer is. Good. Right? Like I feel you still honor me as a human being and a smart individual. Yeah. You're just not willing to skirt around what the problem is. Because if I did that, my clients would stay in the fog. I can't do that.
Right. And this is why this is so interesting, because most people are trying to solve that problem with books and courses and stuff, right? Like they're trying to DIY their way out of the financial prison, or financial fog. But the flip side of that is some people will go to, somebody to try to help them. And those people don't have that balance. They either steamroll with no grace or they're too soft and don't hit the question head on. And so I think what you've really created a niche for yourself here, in that you're helping people because you're grabbing them by the hand and not letting go and asking the hard questions, but providing grace and respect for who they are as an entrepreneur. And that's magical stuff. So
thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
That is probably an accurate description of what I do all day.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've experienced it. I think so. So
it's good work. I love it.
Well,
the other meaningful thing that happens, though, I want to say, like, in no way do when I say I get in the mess. Like one of my business partners, he's like, "You're crazy. I would rather die than do your job," because he's like, "I would never want to be in the mess with people," right? Yeah. Whereas I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah. Right.
Let me get in there. Plus, I'm always like super fascinated by people's businesses. I'm like, wow, I never worked with that kind of business before. Yeah. So it's so fun for me. But getting in the mess is not about me. I want to be really clear. It's about them. Mm-hmm. It's very clear to me what they tell me up front as far as their goals or what they want to accomplish. And when I hold on for dear life, it's because I'm not going to abandon them in the fog. But they do the work. Like they have to do the walking, right? They have to show up week after week and they have to answer the hard questions. And then the revelation comes. It does come. And the clarity comes and the profit starts to show up. Mm-hmm. And so does the 6-figure paycheck to the family. Like all of those things happen, not because I got in the fog, but it's because I got in the fog and hold their hand until they firmly walk out of it.
Yep. That's so
it's not about me.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. Well, I think from wrapping the episode, I'm like speechless here for a minute. I'm like, from a place of wrapping the episode, what I want to reiterate or summarize in this is there's a lot of fear and intimidation around entrepreneurs' money. And we
And shame.
Most of us know, and shame. And most of us know it's there.
Yep.
We don't feel safe enough to invite somebody into that. It's way too embarrassing, exposing, debilitating, really. And so what we do is we try to solve our problems with books and courses and information. And you're probably not missing information. You're missing a person. You're missing a coach. You're missing somebody that can get in there with you and walk out of the fog with you. So that's exactly what you do.
You need a guide. You need a guide.
Yeah, that's right. Not a guide from a book.
No.
You don't need a guide book.
No.
You need a guide. Right. So, and I think that's what's made, not just your practice successful, but it's why you have the stories like the guy who was really wanting to quit a month in, but kept coming back and now says, I basically want you to be my virtual CFO.
Yep.
Because
awesome.
Yeah. So if people, I think that's a great place to just invite people to connect with you. If people listening to this are like, wow, okay, I get it. Like I've listened to your first 16 episodes. This is episode 17. You won my heart over with episode 16 when you got transparent. And now you're saying like, you're going to get in the mess with me and honor me as a human being while still asking me the tough questions and pull me out of the fog. Okay. I am all in, Leanne. How do I reach you? You
reach me at profitdiscoverycall.com, where we will spend 40 minutes together having an honest conversation about your business. That's what it's about.
That's it.
And if you don't want to have a conversation with me yet, then you should just download my 5 money mistakes that are stealing your profit book.
Oh, ooh,
it's good.
I love that.
It was just reformatted. They get that at pursuitofprofit.com.
Pursuitofprofit.com. Are there any like hyphens or things or no hyphens?
Oh yeah, there's pursuit-of-profit.com.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It'll be in the comments below, but there's the 5 money mistakes ebook is just great. And you'll roar with laughter because it's really fun.
You do right.
Because I made all those mistakes, all of them. So I could write it from a place of authenticity.
I love it. So good. Awesome. All right.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, Leanne, such a good, I love it. I love our conversations. Everybody listening, go to profitdiscoverycall.com to schedule time with Leanne for a free call. And you can also get the 5 money mistakes at pursuit-of-profit.com. Thanks, Leanne. Another great episode.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.